How do you save someone when time itself is your enemy? Eiko had always believed time was constant, a force to be measured, tracked, even wasted, until the day she stood beneath the rusting clock tower in the dead heart of the city and watched a man disappear exactly 60 minutes after the bell chimed. No footprints, no trace, just the echo of that haunting toll. It started with a voice recording, a distorted message emailed anonymously at 2:13 IEM to every major news outlet in Tokyo. At the next toll, she'll vanish, just like the others. Only Eiko had the instinct to chase the location metadata embedded in the audio. It led her to the outskirts of Minato, to a condemned stretch of land where a forgotten clock tower stood sentinel over rot and silence. But when she arrived, police had already cordoned off the place, and a young woman had just vanished, right after the bell struck 11. But how could someone vanish in front of 20 officers, 5 reporters, and live television? Eiko replayed the scene in her mind as she scoured the tower's perimeter that night, flashlights slicing through fog. The girl, Rina, a college student, had been pacing inside the boundary line, visibly terrified. Then the bell chimed, her scream cut through the air, and then nothing, like the chime had erased her from the world. No one saw anyone approach. No tunnel, no trapdoor, just the metallic groan of the clock's rusted bell and the emptiness it left behind. So how was the tower doing it? Not what it was, but how it was claiming people. The next day, Eiko returned under the guise of filing a follow-up story. She bribed a guard for entry and climbed the brittle iron staircase, each creak like a countdown. The chamber at the top was filled with antique gears coated in grease and dust, but what froze her was a wall covered in Polaroids, faded pictures of every known victim, time-stamped, and the final photo slot empty. Beneath it, a sticky note read, "She's next." Eiko's hands trembled, not from fear, but rage, because that missing photo slot was labeled Satoshi Tanaka, 12 o'clock IM, her mentor. How did he get involved in this? Satoshi had vanished 6 months ago, during an investigation Eiko was supposed to be part of. He told her to wait, to stay safe, and went ahead alone. That was the last she heard from him until now. His name, his time, it meant one thing. This was a pattern, a schedule, and midnight was the final chapter. But how had no one noticed this before? Why were the police brushing it off as cult activity or psychological suggestion? Eiko knew there was something deeper, and the clock, it wasn't just telling time, it was feeding on it. Using old floor plans from city archives, Eiko discovered the tower had once been part of a 19th century observatory and rumored time study lab. The lead researcher, Ichiro Takeda, fired for unethical experiments involving dimensional thresholds and quantum audio resonance. His journals, long forgotten in the archives, described a theory: at the precise vibration of 432 Hz, in sync with the natural tone of the Earth's rotation, time can be manipulated, collapsed, reversed. Could the clock's chimes be doing just that, slicing a tear through time and space? Then why now? Why these people? And how was Satoshi involved? The answer came in a low-resolution video file Eiko found in Satoshi's encrypted drive. It showed him inside the clock tower, setting a metronome, adjusting wires across the gears, and whispering, "If you're watching this, it means the tower's awake again. It took me, but I left you the breadcrumbs. Only the right rhythm will unlock the door. Find the source of the toll." A source of the toll? Eiko looked up from her laptop. The tower wasn't just ringing by accident. Something, or someone, was triggering the chime. But how could she reach the mechanism in time? Hours before midnight, Eiko snuck into the tower again, this time with noise-canceling headphones, a tuning fork calibrated to 432 Hz, and a homemade frequency jammer built by an old hacker friend. She climbed toward the bell room, passing the Polaroid wall again. Now there were fresh photos added. 2 more victims, missing in the past 24 hours. She stopped. A new photo was developing in the bottom slot. Her own face, labeled 12 o'clock IM. She turned around. The gears began to move. Eiko's plan was risky. If she could disrupt the resonance of the toll before midnight, maybe she could force the portal open, rescue Satoshi and everyone else. But the gear chamber was sealed behind iron bars. Then she saw it, beneath the main crankshaft, a hidden tunnel barely wide enough for a child. She crawled in, scraping elbows, crawling through decades of dust until she reached a round chamber filled with pulsing light. A bronze pendulum swung overhead, and in the center, a mirror. No, a door of some kind, crippling like water. The toll began. Bong. Midnight. The tower screamed, not with sound, but with vibration. Her bones rattled. Her headphones shattered. The jammer in her bag exploded in a flash of sparks. The mirror door flared, and from within, someone stepped forward. Satoshi. But his eyes were wrong. His smile too wide. He opened his arms. "Eiko, you made it just in time." Eiko didn't move. Behind him, more figures stood, unmoving, watching, victims, but hollow-eyed, lifeless, like puppets waiting for a string. She raised her tuning fork, now buzzing uncontrollably in her hand. The mirror pulsed again. "If you leave now," Satoshi said calmly, "you'll forget everything. But if you stay, you'll become part of the hour." Eiko didn't respond. She stepped into the mirror. On the streets outside, the city remained silent. The tower's chime echoed faintly over the skyline. Police, unaware, sipped coffee and waited for dawn. Inside the tower, the mirror went still. A new photo developed on the wall. Aiko Morita, and beneath it, a blank slot, waiting.